Hi class, welcome to Brian A. School of Law, your go-to place for your legal knowledge and needs, irrespective of jurisdiction. This is lesson 9, wherein we're going to tackle chapter 11 of Kenya's Constitution 2010 on the devolved system of government. Let's jump right into it. Chapter 11, the devolved government. Devolution operates in order to achieve the following objectives: to promote democratic and accountable exercise of power, in that power is decentralized or trickles down from the national government down to the county governments for democratic and accountable exercise. The other object of devolution is to foster national unity by recognizing diversity, in that Kenya we are diverse, of many cultures, religions, as well as tribes. To give powers of self-governance to the people and enhance the participation of the people in the exercise of the powers. So devolution brings power down to the people, so the people can participate in it and use it as they exercise the same powers that they gave to the government. The other objective is to recognize the rights of communities to manage their own affairs and to further their development, to protect and promote the interests and rights of minorities and marginalized communities, in that devolution ensures that the marginalized communities and the minorities are also protected by having their elected leaders. The other objective is to promote social and economic development and the provision of proximate, accessible services throughout Kenya. Proximate means bringing the services closer to the people of Kenya. The other objective is to ensure equitable sharing of national and local resources throughout Kenya. We shall look at this when we look at how Kenya's revenue is distributed, to facilitate the decentralization of state organs and their functions and services, in that not all functions and services of state organs shall only be found in the major cities or in the capital city, rather they ought to be found even in the county level. And the other objective is to enhance checks and balances and the separation of powers. Devolved governments work with the following principles: that county governments shall be based on democratic principles on separation of powers. County governments shall have reliable sources of revenue to enable them govern and deliver services effectively, and no more than 2/3 of members of representative bodies in each county government shall be of the same gender. The gender rule, the 1/3 gender rule, the 2/3 gender rule, if you may, ought to be observed when the members of representative bodies in each county government. There shall be a county government for each county. So we have 47 county governments in Kenya, and there shall also be a county assembly as well as a county executive. And every county government shall decentralize its functions and provision of its services to the extent that it is efficient and practicable. And this decentralization of power, they do it through the county executives. The membership of the county assembly shall consist of members elected by registered voters of the wards. These are the MCAs, as we call them. And then political parties shall also appoint special seat members who shall ensure that no more than 2/3 of the membership of the assembly are of the same gender. And the political parties shall also appoint a number of members of marginalized groups, including persons with disabilities and the youth. The county assembly shall also comprise of the speaker, who is an ex-officio member, and what said about the ex-officio. And then the county assembly is elected for a term of 5 years. The speaker of a county assembly, each county assembly shall have a speaker elected from the county assembly from among persons who are not members of the assembly. The sitting of a county assembly shall be headed or presided over by the speaker of the assembly, and in the absence of the speaker, another member of the assembly elected by the assembly. The executive authority of the county vests and is exercised by the county executive committee, which consists of the county governor and the deputy county governor, members appointed by the county governor with the approval of the county assembly from among persons who are not members of the assembly. The number of members appointed to the county executive committee shall not exceed 1/3 of the number of members of the county assembly if the assembly has less than 30 members. For instance, if the assembly has 24 members, the number of the county executive committee should not be more than 8. And if the county assembly has more than 30 members, the number of the county executive committee members can only be 10, or not more than 10. The county governor and the deputy county governor are the chief executive and the deputy chief executive of the county respectively. When the county governor is absent, the deputy county governor shall act as the county governor. Members of a county executive committee are accountable to the county governor for the performance of their functions and exercise of their powers. And if a vacancy arises in the office of the county governor, the members of the county executive committee appointed cease to hold office. In that if the governor leaves office, so do the county executive committee. Election of the county governor and the deputy county governor. The county governor shall be directly elected by the voters registered in the county, and this election happens on the same day as the general election of the members of parliament, being the second Tuesday in August in every 5th year. And to be eligible for election as a county governor, a person must be eligible for election as a member of the county assembly. We shall look at this shortly. And if only one candidate for county governor is nominated, that candidate shall be declared elected and opposed. If 2 or more candidates are nominated, an election shall be held in the county, and the candidate who receives the greatest number of votes shall be declared elected. Each candidate for election as a county governor shall nominate a person who is qualified for nomination for election as a county governor, and that candidate will be the running mate or the deputy governor. And the IEBC shall not conduct a separate election for the deputy county governor. In that when the governor is elected, so is the deputy governor. A person shall not hold office as a county governor or a deputy county governor for more than 2 terms, that is for more than 10 years. Removal of a county governor may be removed from office for gross violation of this constitution or any other law, or where there are serious reasons for believing that the county governor has committed a crime under national or international law, or if the governor is in abuse of office or gross misconduct, or physical or mental incapacity which enables him not to perform the functions of a county governor. Vacancy in the office of a county governor. The office of the county governor shall become vacant if the holder dies, or if the holder resigns in writing address to the Speaker of the County Assembly, or if ceases to be eligible to be elected county governor, or is convicted of an offense punishable by imprisonment of at least 12 months, or is removed from office under this constitution. And if the vacancy occurs in the office of a county governor, the deputy county governor shall assume office as county governor for the remainder of the term. This was purportedly termed by some spectators that it is bad law, in that the deputy county governor can plot the death of the governor so that the deputy county governor can assume office as county governor for the remainder of the term. Functions of county executive committees. A county executive committee shall implement county legislation, in that whatever the county assembly passes as law, the county executive committee ought to implement that. The county executive committee shall also implement within the county national legislation, in that they shall ensure national laws are upheld in the county. They shall also manage and coordinate the functions of the county administration and its departments, and perform any other functions conferred on it by this constitution or national law. And a county executive committee may prepare proposed legislation and send it to the county assembly for consideration. And the county executive committee shall provide the county assembly with full and regular reports on matters relating to the county. The power of the county assembly to make law. A county assembly may make any law that is necessary for the effective performance of the function or exercise of the powers of the county government. A county assembly may exercise oversight over the county executive committee and any other county executive organs, that they can supervise how this committee or other county or executive organs are performing their duties and functions. A county assembly may receive and approve plans and policies for the management and exploitation of the county's resources and the development and management of its infrastructure and institutions. Functions and powers of county governments. The functions and powers of the national government and the county governments, respectively, are set out in the 4th schedule of this constitution, and we shall look at this 4th schedule much later. A function or power that is bestowed on more than one level of government is a function or power within the concurrent jurisdiction of each of those levels of government. In that, if a function or power has been accorded to both the county government and the national government. That is a power which is within the concurrent jurisdiction of each of those levels of government. A function or power not assigned by this constitution or national law to a county is a function or power of the national government, in that if a function or power is not given to the county government, that power and function is given to the national government. Transfer of functions and powers between the levels of government. A function or power of government at one level may be transferred to a government at the other level by an agreement between the governments, in that these governments may come together and agree to transfer a power or function to another level of government. And this can only happen if the function or power will be more effectively performed and exercised by the receiving government, and the transfer of the function or power is not prohibited by law. And we can see this happen when the governor of Nairobi, Mike Mbuvi Sonko, handed over the functions of Nairobi County to the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. Cooperation between national and county governments. These governments shall perform their functions and exercise their powers in a manner that respects each other, and they protect the functional and institutional integrity of each other. These governments, that is the county and the national government, shall also assist, support, consult, and as appropriate implement law at either level of the government, and they should liaise with each other for the purposes of exchanging information, coordinating policies and administration, and enhancing capacity. And then these governments also shall cooperate in the performance of functions and exercise of powers for that purpose, and may set up joint committees and joint authorities, that we can have members from the county government and members from the national government coming together to sit together and to agree on certain issues affecting the country as well as the counties. Conflict of laws. This is where county law is in conflict with the national legislation, and this is provided for that national legislation shall prevail over county legislation if the national legislation applies uniformly throughout Kenya, and if the national legislation is aimed at preventing unreasonable action by a county. And unreasonable action by a county can be an action which will negatively affect the economic, health, or security interests of Kenya or another county, or an action which will impede the implementation of national economic policy. So if a county legislation is likely to affect the country or another county as stated, then the national legislation shall prevail over the county legislation. Suspension of county governments. The president may suspend a county government in an emergency arising out of internal conflict or war, or in any other exceptional circumstance. And a county government shall not be suspended unless an independent commission of inquiry has investigated the allegations against the county government, and the president is satisfied that the allegations are justified, and the Senate has authorized the suspension. Therefore, there should be an independent commission of inquiry to investigate, and the president should be satisfied with the investigations, and the Senate should authorize the suspension. During the suspension, arrangements shall be made for the performance of the functions of that county government, and the Senate may at any time terminate that suspension, and a suspension shall not extend beyond a period of 90 days. On the expiry of the period provided for the suspension, elections for the relevant county government shall be held. Qualifications for election as member of the county assembly. You must be a registered voter. You must satisfy any educational, moral, and ethical requirements. You must either be nominated by a political party or an independent candidate. And if you're an independent candidate, you should have at least 500 registered voters in that ward backing you up. And a person is disqualified from being elected as a member of the county assembly if the person is a state officer or other public officer other than a member of the county assembly. So if you hold any other state office or public office, you are disqualified from being elected as a member of the county assembly. Or if you have at any time within the 5 years immediately before the date of the election held office as a member of the IEBC. You are also disqualified from being elected as an MCA if you have not been a citizen of Kenya for at least 10 years immediately preceding the date of the election, or if you're of unsound mind, or if you are an undischarged bankrupt, or if you are serving a sentence of imprisonment of at least 6 months, or if you have been found in accordance with any law to have misused or abused a state office and are in contravention in Chapter 6 of this Constitution on leadership and integrity. Vacation of office of a member of the County Assembly. The office of a member of the County Assembly becomes vacant if the member dies, or if the member is absent from 8 sittings of the Assembly without permission in writing and without any satisfactory explanation for the absence, or if the member is removed from office under this Constitution, or if the member resigns in writing address to the Speaker of the Assembly. The office also becomes vacant if the MCA was elected by a political party and then he resigns from that political party or is deemed to have resigned from that political party, then that office will become vacant. Or if the MCA was elected on an independent candidate ticket and then joins a political party, then that office or that position becomes vacant. County Assembly has the power to summon witnesses, to give evidence or provide information before it, and for this purpose, it shall have the same powers as the High Court to enforce the attendance of witnesses and examine them on oath, affirmation, or otherwise. That is to subpoena. To subpoena is to compel someone to come before court or before the County Assembly to offer crucial information needed. The County Assembly shall also have the same power as the High Court to compel the production of documents and to issue a commission or request to examine witnesses outside Kenya. Public participation in County Assembly powers and privileges and immunities. A County Assembly shall conduct its business in an open manner and hold its sittings and those of its committees in public, and they shall facilitate public participation and involvement in legislative and other business of the Assembly and its committees. And that if the Assembly wants to pass laws, they should ensure that public participation from members or citizens of that county have been taken into consideration. And a County Assembly will not exclude the public or any media from any sitting. And that, dear class, brings us to the end of Lesson 9 on the devolved system of government as enshrined in Chapter 11 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. In the next lesson, we shall tackle Chapter 12 on public finance, and this will be a very beautiful topic in that we shall understand how money flows in and out of Kenya. If you have missed all the other lessons or part of the video lessons that build up to this lesson, kindly please subscribe to this channel, watch and like the videos, and share widely with another to empower another. Remember, as I always say, love one another. Love is the golden rule. For if we love one another, we shall be able to serve each other like the brothers and sisters that we are. Till next time. Ciao.